Join us today for episode 3 of Toys at Tabletop and Beyond. And today we're going to be focusing on the possible future of the current rendition of Lego Space. Since we know we're getting a polybag next year, we're basically going to be talking about, well, what if it all just continues? As opposed to what we talked about in the last episode, which is like a hypothetical, if we wanted to expand Lego Space, what would we want to see? This is different.
Spoilers for that episode. It was a lot of Ice Planet.
Well, yeah.
From me.
Yeah, you guys should watch that episode to find out what we talked about. And then the other is going to be, our other topic we're going to try to focus on is Hasbro seems to have abandoned the HasLab concept for Marvel Legends. And if that's going to be a trend that's going to go into the other lines, mainly G.I.Joe, but also other Marvel Legends stuff, what do we think we're going to see from their just kind of open-ended pre-orders they've gone to instead? Spoiler on that one of my answers is a complete cop-out, but, you'll understand it when you hear it. So, Lego Space. So next year, we've already seen pictures of a number of polybags that are going to be coming out next year. And one of them is a mech, a single guy, fairly small mech, because, it's a polybag, so it's a $5 set. And Chad's busy looking at all the others here. So if that's a sign that the whole line is going to continue, then what do we expect to see? So I can give you my cheap cop-out answer first. And that is basically take everything we saw this year, but invert the price points. So next year, instead of seeing a $35 ground vehicle and a $90 ground vehicle, we'll see a $35 and $90 spaceship. And instead of a $20 spaceship, we'll see a $20 ground vehicle. Somewhere in there, we'll see a larger mech because we had an $11 mech this year. So we'll have maybe that'll be the $35 one instead of the ship. Instead of a big base, a big ship, a big tank, something. But that's my no creativity, no nothing. That's Lego just just turn it all around.
What was the Lego Space polybag this year?
This year, it was a one-man, I hate to even call it a ship, more like a hover kind of deal, because it's not enclosed or anything.
You mean like a hover scooter, like the old lines had?
Kind of, yeah.
Well, if that is anything to go off of, what were the big items this year again?
Okay, so
ground vehicles or spaceships?
Okay, the most expensive set was the base.
Yeah,
at $135. $110 was, I don't want to call it a ship. It's more like an orbiting ring kind of deal, but it's for space. It's not for ground. Then there was the $90 kind of big wheeled tank thing. Then the smaller wheeled vehicle, which again I think was $35. There's also the expansion to the base that was the Target exclusive that was $35, so it's another building. Then there was the ship, which was $20. It's like a one-man kind of fighter-looking thing. Also, the 4+ set that had a ship and a little bit of a base was $20. And then $11 was the mech, like a single guy mech.
Well, what if this next year is the year of mechs?
Could be. I mean, it's obvious Lego has figured out that they can make mechs with their bricks and that people like them.
Yeah.
Because they keep making them for Ninjago, they make them for this.
They made them for Nexo Knights.
They introduced them for Star Wars. Those are not canon to anything.
Nope.
And they're decent. I bought them for my Stormtroopers, because I thought, hey, it actually looks kind of cool. And if the Empire had that kind of technology, sure, they would do that. I was wrong, though. Well, wasn't wrong in that I said that, however, I don't know why the Rebels would have this stuff, because this would have to be higher end stuff, I would think.
Stolen from the Imperials,
Well, then my other thought was, however, technology in Star Wars doesn't actually progress at all. It's all just other stuff reconfigured. So if the Empire's got mechs, the Rebels would too. Now, what threw me for a loop was Vader, Boba Fett, and the Stormtrooper. They're literally just like up armored mechs for the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Luke's is modeled after an X-wing, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect that. That kind of threw me. So now I have to wonder if we're gonna like see a TIE fighter mech for the Empire. See another X-wing mech for, I don't know, Biggs.
No.
No, not Biggs. Okay.
No.
Speeder bike mech for Leia for Endor.
There's that snow speeder bike.
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon mech.
Yeah. Don't know what you do there.
You make it a 2-seater with Han and Chewie.
There you go. But anyway, to Chad's point, since we have this small mech and we have like an $11 mech, maybe something in the $40 to $50 range, somewhere in there, maybe a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. Just depends on how far they want to go into it. You know, Are we talking like we're going to see one that's like rivals the Ninjago movie mechs? Which I have one of those. They're pretty impressive.
That, or you go to one of the older space. No, it's not older. It's, which one was it? It was one of the space themes that had a mech with a little like carrier vehicle.
Yeah, I don't know right offhand which one that would be. You could definitely take influence from older sets because like Classic Space had like the Robot Command Center, which wasn't a mech by any stretch, but if they made it today, it would be for sure. Because it's about this tall, and it has, kind of bendy arms that come out of the sides of it. But then like the cockpit is big enough for like 3 or 4 people. It is a command center. And also I think just in general, that's something they might try to copy because all the sets all come with little drone type things. So maybe like a drone command post of some kind.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Could be something they would go with. And then maybe, depending on how much they want to lean into it, maybe some kind of like processing center for the crystal things they're digging up. I would expect to see the alien dudes with like a regular figure because one of the sets comes with them like a small one, but he's a humanoid instead of the kind of just plant stock things that the others appear to be. Maybe continue that idea and have one that's actually like, human scaled and everything. I could see him doing that. If they did that, I don't know if we'd actually see alien sets, because most of the aliens don't appear to have like built anything. They're just life forms they encountered.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm not saying there is. I'm just I don't think we get like a full blown like here's an alien spaceship kind of thing.
Vermin Vaporizer, Galaxy Squad.
Oh, they had the tank attached.
Tank that had a mech that was with it.
Yeah, I should have known I had that set. But yeah, I mean it could be a mech with a carrier, like Chad said there. We could see not a space fighter, but more like a larger hover kind of vehicle.
Yeah,
like the $20-$30 range or something. Because I don't think they'd make it huge, because they just don't seem to really do that. So as far as hover vehicles, it'd be nice if we saw another expansion to the base. I don't know what the likelihood of that is, just because of Lego might be hesitant to do that because it's not entirely certain that the base would actually still be on store shelves. They would still be carrying it in their catalog, but store shelves might not still have it at that point. But that would be nice if we did see something like that. And maybe that could be the droid control center or something.
I have an idea if you want a droid control center. It'd be the upper priced set.
Okay.
Make not a hover vehicle or anything, but like a proper like multi-person spaceship. That has like attachment points for drones.
Okay.
So
maybe.
Like have it with like an interior where there's a control room, and then you have like
I gotcha.
cockpit that can hold like 2 or 3 minifigs.
I gotcha. All right. I was really thinking you were gonna try to convince me that we need a Lucre Hulk.
No, no, just like to show how they're somewhat getting from planet to planet.
Yeah, that is one of the issues I have with a lot of the space ships. They're big, but there's no real interior to them.
Yeah,
You know, like there's a bunch of things on them, and some of them will have like a vehicle or something inside of them, but there's no like cabin with like a command space or anything like that. So that might be nice to see that. You know, under today's paradigm, that'd probably be like $150 set, but
I that's why I said a higher price set, Bobbie.
the Lucre Hulk would be a lot more. So
The Lucre Hulk would be like a UCS set,
yes, it'd also be vulnerable to a Naboo starfighter. So
which will include a small one of those for you.
yes, that has to somehow get inside, but once it does, you're probably done for.
Mm-hmm.
So on the off chance any of you out there still haven't caught on, I'm talking about from the Phantom Menace, the droid control ships.
The ball with the crescent ring around it.
Yeah, that's, if I recall correctly, that's called a Lucre Hulk.
It is.
And I actually saw an in-depth video where someone was trying to explain that those things are actually insanely well armed, and they have a hell of a lot of room inside of them.
Yeah,
which you would expect.
They're cargo ships.
It's a cargo ship, yeah, and especially if you're using droids,
because
you don't have to have living quarters or anything for them.
Very, very cheaply to maintain, because you only need atmosphere and like livable space in a smaller area.
Probably mainly inside the sphere.
Probably not even the entire sphere.
Well, probably not the entire sphere, but I would imagine it's almost all concentrated in there.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you use the ring for your cargo and your engine area? And all that's going to be manned by droids.
Right. Yeah. But, yeah, other than that, I don't know. I could see a smaller wheeled vehicle. I would like to see, we're into like to see here. I'd like to see a smaller, you can't really do a smaller base, but some kind of smaller structure of some kind.
Outpost, if you would.
Possibly an outpost, maybe just a smaller like launch site, maybe like a testing center for the crystals, or just something.
A farther away from the base, like radio signal thing.
Yeah, something like that could work.
Communication tower.
Yeah. Just some kind of structure, some infrastructure that we could add to like a what am I looking for here? Not scenario, not
a setup.
Yeah.
A display.
Yeah, some of the word I was thinking of, but that'll work too. I'll come in here in a minute. I'm sure it's some fancy word, but yeah, like for a display that you would have set up somewhere, and just to have some other stuff with it. Because right now it's basically the base, the expansion building, and the thing in the 4+ set. And that's literally just like two pieces, like two. They're not diamonds, octagons. Two octagons. One has like a crane, the other has like a little computer terminal. And it doesn't have to be a whole lot more than that, but just more stuff like that. Diorama. I think that's the word I was thinking of.
But here's
trying to think of it and not succeeding.
Here's the thing for that, Bobbie. They have the space stations, which aren't going to be the easiest for a diorama. Not at least, to be able to play with it as well. Because that would have to be like tied up by fishing line, and you gotta make sure everything's nice and like firmly put together.
You're talking the orbiting station?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I meant like for the ground.
Why would you have one and not the other?
Well, because the orbiting station, you don't just need like random pods out in space. You would need something more than that. Because you can't survive in just a pod. Like for very long. But you can't. Don't look at me. I don't write the rules for space.
Yeah.
Besides, the orbiting station is just a ring with like 8 pods around it. Like, it's not even like scaled right for you to actually be able to move between the pods.
Well, aren't you like, that'd be a nice set to have.
Yeah, I mean, a station that's actually scaled right that the characters can actually move through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they'll charge like $200 for it.
Well, it just depends on how big it is. Because the last Space series had one that was 70, I want to say. It was about, it's about this long. There was only like 3 rooms in it, but it was big enough. And it had one section that was supposed to be set up so you could simulate like zero gravity because it's big enough you could have your characters not down on the floor kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then before that, there's another one that I've got that's got like compartments, and then they're all connected in a ship, but you can like take some of them off and rearrange them and stuff. And once I get the other things, I got to figure out how to cobble this all together. That's my ultimate plan. Because some of them use the same kind of connection stuff. It's just the colors will be off because they're not from the same lines. But yeah,
different corporations funded the space station, Bobbie.
Yeah,
that's how you explain that.
Could be. Then I do wonder though if they do continue it, if it's going to see the push across all the other lines. Because like this year we had some Technic sets with the space sub theme, we had the Friends sets, we had the Creator set, we had the minifigure set. I don't know if it's going to see all that. It'd be nice if there's still some Creator sets because there's actually I think 4 Creator sets. Only one of them's a 3-in-1, but one of them's like a bunch of blocks to make aliens with, which is just an excuse to have like a bunch of neon blocks, basically.
Oh yeah.
And then there's the other 2 though do actually come with alien figures and alien life stuff that blends in with the other sets. But those aren't sold in stores. Those are only on Lego's website. Then the Technic sets are not in scale or anything. They're in the weirdo Technic scale of whatever size it needs to be to look right.
Yeah,
because Technic's not even like internally consistent. So yeah, I would maybe see those things. I don't know if we'd see another collectible minifigure line because I mean that would be dedication if we did. And we kind of got the greatest hits in the last one as far as the old figures.
Yeah.
Like I don't think as much as I would like to see like a Spirius guy and a Futuron guy and whatnot, like I just don't think those are going to be the big sellers. I think it's Blacktron, Space Police, Mtron, Blacktron 2, and Ice Planet. So I wouldn't expect to see another collectible minifigure wave, but maybe some others in another collectible minifigure set. Because, like I showed you the picture of the upcoming one.
Yeah,
and I
it
think
looks like it's supposed to be Space Police.
Yeah, one of those guys looks like it's supposed to be like a reimagining of Space Police. It doesn't blend in with Space Police 1, 2, or 3, but it definitely has that vibe of police.
None of those 3 blend together either.
Well, no, but that's why they're numbered differently.
Yeah, maybe this will be Space Police 4.
The real problem, though, is so Space Police 1 goes after Blacktron 1. Space Police 2 goes after Blacktron 2. We never got a Blacktron 3. Space Police 3 is just like an oppressive, tyrannical government going after everybody, including that space pimp.
They're not oppressive, tyrannical government. Look.
They even had the robot canine that the other 2 didn't have.
Yeah. Look, they are clearly going after speeders, bank robbers, because one of those sets, guys have stolen a space ATM.
Yeah. Space TM. Did I tell you about whenever we were playing Terraforming Mars a couple weeks ago? And we never have settled on what we're going to call the money in that game. It's supposed to be mega credits, but those sound stupid. So we keep calling them like space credits, Mars bucks, just all kinds of things. So we happen to be talking about money and things, and I've been comparing dollars to pesos, and so Levi's like, "Oh, so what's this cost? 10 spaceos?"
There you go.
That's like spaceos. Like that's good, Levi. We're gonna remember that one. But yeah, yeah, you might be right. Like I'd like to see a big mech, as long as it served a purpose. Is the only thing, because these guys don't appear to be fighting like some of the others were. Like Mtron, I could see a giant mech there, just some giant magnetic powered monstrosity, or Blacktron, because they're going to use it to knock something off, or the Space Police to fight the Blacktrons.
What's the purpose of this upcoming mech then, Bobbie?
That's obviously like exploration. That's just a dude in a slightly enhanced suit to go around like he's rock climbing here in the picture.
No, he is clearly fighting something.
That's just a plant. He's trying to get a sample.
Plant with eggs, I'll point out.
Maybe that's a new alien life form. Maybe that's where they're going to go with it.
And he is not gripping onto anything to be climbing.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. This looks like a power. This is like slightly smaller power loader from Aliens.
Also, the name of it is Space Science Mech.
There you go. He's doing science in space with a mech. Just be thankful this one has a control panel.
Yeah.
The $11 one doesn't. The $11 one is just the guy in there. There's no controls on it. There's no visible controls on it.
Plus, what was it? You could easily bill it as security.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that so far this series seems to be about colonizing and exploring.
Yeah.
And so there doesn't seem to be a threat where you would need a massive like militaristic mech.
I know what you can make the mech for. Farming.
Yeah, I mean, hey, BattleTech has the Cattle Master. You know what that's for?
Herding cattle?
Yes, actually.
It's right there in the name, Bobbie.
I'm just saying, like, but well, clearly you haven't seen the meme I posted the other day.
What?
Where it's Gerard Butler from 300 just before he kicks the one guy into the pit.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you don't understand. The spider mech stands on two legs, the scorpion mech is a quad, and the swordsman doesn't have a sword. And the guy's like, this is madness. Like, no, this is BattleTech, and kicks him into the pit.
That's good.
So yeah, so just because it's called a Cattle Master doesn't actually mean much of anything. But yes, that is what it's for. There's also corporate security mechs.
Yeah, but like the what is it? The Axeman has an axe.
Yeah.
The forestry mech is clearly for forestry.
Yes.
The dump truck mech is clearly for construction.
Yeah, although it's not called the dump truck mech. I can never remember what it's actually called, but
like what is it? The Fire Master's clearly,
the fire starter.
Fire starter's clearly for starting fires.
The fire starter is clearly for war crimes.
So's the Piranha.
Yeah, the Piranha sure is. Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, it could be a large, like mining mech of some kind. Some kind of industrial deal trying to get the crystals.
Yeah.
There's reasons. I'm just saying it shouldn't be based on what we've seen so far from the series. It shouldn't be like shouldn't look like a combat kind of deal.
Right.
It should serve. They should be able to come up with an excuse to have some kind of function for it, other than fighting.
Now we go with mining, for we can explain why it has mining lasers and a mining drill.
I'm just saying,
and a mining saw.
I'm just saying, once we finally get around to the Blacktrons, because I read that there are rumors they're going to bring them back, and apparently it's Blacktron 1. That yeah, they might get a mech that looks more like it can tango with something.
Yeah, then we're going to get like Space Police with a mech to tango.
That's fine. But yeah, the current Bricklink voting thing, there's an Mtron mech in there. Someone built. Looks pretty impressive.
Cool.
I really hope it wins. Well, I don't know why I say that, because I don't know if I'm going to have the money to buy it when it comes out, but like the fact it exists is nice. So anyway, I don't know. You got any other ideas on that one, Chad?
on what we could see with space.
Yeah, like a continuation of the current space theme.
Nah,
Okay.
pretty good. Although, like, I say no, and then it's like, hey, wait, space farming would be interesting.
Yeah.
Like, you
I,
you could either go with the whole biosphere thing where it's, hey, we're transplanting our crops here. We're just going to close it in our atmosphere to do it.
I think that's what you'd have to do, given that I know you got another thought, but hang on. I think because all the guys are wearing like pressurized suits, I think it would have to be an indoor thing, essentially like a space greenhouse.
Or have it be like a science greenhouse where it's scientists who are experimenting with how to grow alien plants
Okay,
and make those useful. Because
so I want you to hold that thought and look up the Target exclusive set
what Target exclusive set?
from this year's space stuff. So Space 2024 Target. It's I want to say it's like a $35 set. I don't remember. I think it's no, that's the base. I think it's that last one. Yeah.
Yeah, but why is that inside of a biodome?
Well, that's an alien tree.
Why does she not have any gloves on?
That is a really good question. But I have a better question.
Why is she in a wheelchair?
Yes. Like, first of all, I don't have a problem with representation in the Lego sets. But you're in an alien environment, you should be in a hover chair.
Agreed.
Now, for the record though, if you look at the rest of the pictures, she can mount into a hover vehicle. It's there on the side of the building.
That's the hover vehicle.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. So, like, they did kind of think of that. It's just they shouldn't have been in a wheelchair to start with. They should have been like Professor X's chair.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, it's that whole like the alien landscape should not be very forgiving to two wheels.
No.
But yeah, so you see, it's got like the tree, and it's got like sciencey stuff and all the alcoves there, and so like a different version of something like that, maybe.
That is a nice way to do the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, a different version of that.
But there's also the alien guy there.
I think she does have gloves on. They're just weirdly colored.
Could be. I haven't put the set together yet, so I couldn't tell you.
But yeah, something like that, but more like set up to where you have like vehicles and robots and such, to where it is like, hey, we're experimenting with growing a number of these, not
Right.
just
so where that's
maintaining a tree to
yeah.
observe.
So where that's like a 2-story tall dome, you would want more like probably a 1-story, but like longer, so you had more ground space inside the building. Yeah.
And then you can use like different colored pieces of like the grass and the flowers and
Yeah.
such to be like, here's alien plants.
Yeah. I'd go along with that. Be a good idea. There you go, folks. All right. Well, we're ready to move on to the other topic then.
I guess so.
All right. So, as mentioned in the opening, in the last episode, we talked about the not HasLab Sentinels that that Hasbro is going to make for the Marvel Legends line, and they're just going to be an open-ended pre-order for like a month and a half. Then, however many get pre-ordered, that's how many they're going to make. You know, obviously, plus a few in case there's problems with them or whatever. But the intent, I assume, is to not have them at retail. Yeah, in fact, I think the only one of these things Hasbro did that actually went to retail was Hero Quest, but they said it was going to.
Yeah.
So yeah. So with that in mind, let's assume for a moment that this is going to bleed over into the other lines, plus also just Marvel Legends. Now we know they haven't abandoned HasLab completely because there's a HasLab running right now for Ghostbusters for the car.
Yeah.
And like, if you get the more deluxe version, it has all the parts to make it the one from the second movie because it does look different. The base model includes, I think, Slimer and the Librarian Ghost, but not the main Ghostbusters. The other one contains the main Ghostbusters, but they're in their Ghostbusters 2 outfits, the darker outfits. So
the ones where they realize that the darker color will help cover up slime stains.
Yeah. So I'm not backing that because I have no room for a giant car and I don't have the other Ghostbusters figures or anything. So I figure if I didn't back the Hiss tank, I'm not backing the Ecto one. So that's just me. So with that in mind, what else can we expect to see? You think?
In that vein, where it's stripped down and pre-orderable.
Yeah, I should mention the difference because Hasbro did make a Sentinel for the HasLab line,
which he did back.
Which I did back. It's larger than the other. It's 26 inches tall versus 22 for the one that's on pre-order right now. The HasLab one has multiple heads. It has the regular Sentinel, the Tri-Sentinel, and Master Mold. It came with 2 figures, Bastion, who also had another head to make him just into a male Prime Sentinel, and then a female Prime Sentinel. It came with tentacles for the arms, capture tentacles come out from the wrists, some light up stuff, and it was overall a more deluxe thing. Okay, whereas this one is shorter, doesn't have any other figures, just has some battle damage parts, no light up, no sound, no nothing, none of that. So it is, and it's also a different design because the Sentinels do have different versions. This one is based more on the very early appearances in the comics, and then in X-Men, the cartoon, and X-Men '97. Whereas the HasLab one is based on the Krakoa era of the opening to it, the House of X and Powers of X. Because the Sentinels do have different appearances. So it's a stripped down version, and it's a different version. So with that in mind, what do you think?
Hiss tank.
Yeah, his tank does seem to be the obvious answer, doesn't it?
Strip out the electronics, take out a bunch of the extra figures, and you have it right there.
Yeah, I do think it's a definite possibility
and it's a good idea for them to do it because they do have the retail set that has the missile launcher trailer that's supposed to go with it.
You've got 2 other sets that go with it. You've got the other figure set, like the 788 guys, that are recolored. It's like a range Viper, a soldier, and an officer.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, you got the trailer that has the missile launch system with the repainted Techno Viper with it.
Mm-hmm.
Although the Stinger can also haul that apparently, but still, it is there. And so I think you're right. I think they'll call it the Hiss Mark III, though, because the Hiss 3 looks just like the Hiss 1.
Yeah.
Or they'll go a little crazy and they'll actually just make the Hiss 2. The Hiss 2 has a different appearance. Okay, the Hiss 2, it's wider because it can hold 2 drivers side by side.
It's like it was knowing when I wanted to look up.
Yeah, it's because your phone's listening to you.
No.
So yeah, the Hiss 2 has 2 drivers, has a larger gun on top, and has the crew compartment. Because the original Hiss doesn't, but the HasLab one does, as far as the crew compartment. So that could be one way they do it, is just make the Hiss 2 and just not put all the extra crap into it. You know. So then it would be distinct, it would be different, but it would also still be a Hiss tank for people that wanted a Hiss tank.
Yeah. It doesn't have the iconic Hiss tank look.
Well, I mean, you can tell that it's definitely a similar design. Unlike the Hiss 4, I think. Yeah, that's the Hiss 4. Which still has like some similar threads, but then the canopy comes out and up and rears up like a cobra ready to strike.
Yeah.
Which thematically I get.
Yeah. Skip the Hiss 2 and 3. Make this Hiss 4.
No. Make the Hiss 2 or the Hiss 3. Don't make the Hiss 4.
Nope, make the Hiss 4.
We need the one from Eco Warriors, the septic tank. And yes, that's what it's called. You probably need to make sure G.I.Joe is in front of that before you search for
it. We do need that.
It's the main Hiss body, but the canopy's different, the gun is different, and like the main body's orange.
Like bright orange.
And the gun and the canopy are neon green.
Yes. We need this.
I have one of those somewhere.
We need this in classified scale.
Or they could make the Crimson Hiss, I suppose. It's just the Hiss tank in red. So. But that's as far as that's just for the no, not that one.
Yeah, what if they go that route, Bobbie?
I don't think
the crazy live action movie Hiss tank.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Why not?
I don't see a lot of support for the live action movies. Whenever I can still find figures from the Snake Eyes movie in places.
What?
Yeah, classified scale figures from the Snake Eyes movie. Yeah, I can still find them.
You can find shelffuls of them at Ollie's.
I know. And some more over at Ross. Because I've been looking at Ross lately, because I keep seeing all these posts of people finding stuff at Ross. I haven't found anything there.
Yes, you have.
What?
Snake Eyes figures.
I mean, I did also find a couple 14-inch Zerg figures I'm going to turn into Sentinels. What is that?
That is a G.I.Joe themed Hiss tank. That is great.
I've never seen that. It's like the Hiss tank, but it's green, basically.
Yeah.
Huh. Guns are different.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. I think they'll also make other vehicles like... I think in using that, they could make the Mauler. And it's bigger than the Hiss, but if you don't put a bunch of electronic crap in it, it might end up being a similar price point to the Hiss. It's the one that kind of looks like the Abrams.
Yeah.
So you've got that.
This was apparently a 2015 G.I. Joe SDCC exclusive.
Yeah, that's all that. So you could do things like that. I think you could probably make the Rage tank for Cobra.
Maybe this is where we'll get Cold Slither on the pre-order.
Yeah, I mean,
because I would not just want like it to be released one figure at a time, and I would need them with their instruments.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So why not put it at a pre-order? Like,
yeah, it would need to be a box set, instruments,
100,
maybe a stage, some big speakers.
$125 range.
That'd be what, 4 figures?
Yeah.
It's Zartan and the main 3 Dreadnoks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So $125 range to include like the new molds for the instruments, the speakers, and the stage.
Yeah.
So I'll just throw that out there.
But the question is, does it come with a soundtrack CD? No. A soundtrack cassette tape. With just the one track, because they only had the one song. won't even be a real cassette tape. There'll be a USB drive that pops out of the middle of it that has the MP3 on it.
There we go. That'll work.
No, I was looking up movies because I realized I've been talking about all these movies, and I should be putting affiliate links to how to buy their DVDs and Blu-rays off Amazon.
Yeah.
There have been a number of them that on Amazon you can still buy the VHS tapes for them.
Did you include those?
No. Chad, a wise man who wears a cowboy hat a lot, once talked about VHS format and why on earth anyone would watch anything on VHS, because it is quite possibly the worst viewing format known to mankind. That man was Joe Bob Briggs.
Oh.
He knows what he's talking about.
Maybe we could get the Mobat on this new pre-order system.
Yeah, maybe. Although, the only problem is, like, the Mobat's known for being the tank that you can, like, actually cause to drive. Yeah, it's motorized.
I know.
And, like, so the whole point is to not have features like that. So, I don't know if you'd want to remake the Mobat and not have it mechanized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure there's plenty of other tanks, but like...
Could do the MBT.
Yeah, the Mauler.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you could go a whole lot bigger than that, because that's a problem with this scale, is it just doesn't lend itself.
Well, to vehicles.
Yeah. Which, if you don't have the vehicles, like, that's kind of part of the appeal.
It is.
So, because you could definitely never make like the Hammerhead or that.
That's a custom.
What about what is it? Is it the
Maggot?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of. The Cobra tank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the turret on the back pops off and becomes a fixed firing position.
Yeah, it's self-prepared artillery.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the problem is there's definitely like an upper limit on these vehicles. You know, like we're not going to see like the Night Raven.
No. Yep. We'll probably not see the Sky Striker.
Probably not. I really wouldn't think so. The Conquest, maybe.
I mean, we're lucky to be seeing the Dragonfly.
Yeah. But like, I think we'll definitely see like the Fang. It's small enough. Slaughter's tank, I could see. The Wolverine for CoverGirl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those I think are in range.
Is the Whale in range?
Yeah. The Whale's a pretty good size. I don't know.
Yeah. It is.
But yeah. So, I also promised a cheap total cop-out answer of other things we could see. And I've already kind of alluded to it in the opening.
No.
Other Sentinels. Because there are other types of Sentinels.
Really?
Well, there's the Mark 7. I think it's the 7. The blue and gray one. There's the Tri-Sentinel, which we don't actually have. It just had a head for the HasLab, but didn't have the extra arms. Because the Tri-Sentinel is 3 Sentinels fused together via magic. And then somehow they got mass produced later. There was a master mold that was churning them out. You have those two. You have the Age of Apocalypse version of the Sentinels, which do look very distinct from the mainline ones. You have the Sentinel Master Mold hybrid that eventually got turned into Bastion. Yeah. I don't think they'd make a separate Master Mold figure just because it would have to be notably larger. And to make it different than the HasLab, it'd basically have to come with the throne. Yeah. So, but the others, like I could see them making, I could see them eventually making the Tri Sentinel, just because it's so well known, and I don't think they'd make the Age of Apocalypse ones, even though they do look different, just because I don't think the Age of Apocalypse figures sold all that well, which is a shame because we need at least a third wave of those, if not a fourth wave, because we need the Four Horsemen.
What if the Horsemen were on pre-order?
Well, I mean, that'd be nice because I can get a hold of them. Although there's at least one of them I don't think they're going to give him his real name.
No.
I believe they will probably just call him Nemesis.
Yep.
So then, I don't know, what else would you have? If they still have the Power Rangers license, maybe a Sentinel-sized version of Goldar.
Yeah.
Because he got made giganticized several times by Rita.
You can make the bigger figure of all the villain figures.
I don't know if they go very
the more
far.
iconic ones.
Yeah, like maybe one or two. The reason I say Goldar is because it happened more than once, and he's a recurring character.
Definitely Ivan Von Ooze.
Ivan Von Ooze. Oh man,
I'm just saying.
he's from the second movie, right?
He's from the one where they got the I think it's the first movie, isn't it?
Is it the first movie?
Pretty sure it's the first movie.
Yeah, well, that's even worse. That means it was still popular enough to make a second movie. Uh, but yeah, you've got them. You could use it for some of the Transformers characters that they're a little shaky on, but I don't know who that would be at this point.
Ivan Ooze. Yeah, he was just in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know, Chad. You're more of a Transformers guy than I am. Like, who would fall into this realm of we don't think they'll work at retail?
But if we put pre-order, it might.
Yeah. Do you think this is like scale for like Tripticon and guys like that? Omega Supreme?
People always are asking for those, though. So,
Well, that's the thing.
but
That's
the issue is they're like it takes up so much room on the shelves, and you can only put so few out because of that.
yeah.
So this might be a better way to do the big ones like Fortress Maximus, Mega Supreme, Tripticon, Scorponok.
Yeah.
Like, it might be the better way to do it. It might be a good way to do the more, like, off the wall runs of it.
We somehow need a slightly scaled down, but without losing too much from it, version of Unicron that they had the HasLab for. And I don't know how you do that.
I don't either.
Because I need that, like, medicine ball sized Unicron that I didn't back. It takes 2 hours to transform from robot to planet mode.
Some of the ones that are supposed to be bigger wouldn't be bad to put here. Like, the Constructicons, combiners would be great. There's more than the, like, 3 or 4 most people know about.
What? There's more than just Devastator and Devastator?
Yeah. Yeah, there's the Predaking. There's Superion?
Yeah, there's
Is that the one formed by the Jets?
I think so.
There's Protector. Is it Protector?
There's Bruticus.
There's Bruticus. Protectors like police themed vehicles that combine together, I think.
Yeah, there's the Decepticon one that they're all like ocean creatures.
Why do I want to call that one Sea King?
I think that is its name. I have the original version of that. Somehow minus a Decepticon. Like I'm definitely missing a figure, but the thing's still
Yes,
like
it is.
yeah, I'm missing the one that becomes part of the weapon. Because like I have the body. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that one get an update. And yeah, that'd probably be the best way to do it, to sell them all at once.
Yeah, do this for combiners that we sell them all at once.
Yeah. Because they're getting ready to start releasing the Constructicons for the movie line, the '86 cartoon.
Yeah,
And they're going to release them separately. But they're going to release them like in pretty rapid succession, apparently. Maybe they can use this to re-release Ultra Magnus, so more than the 5 people that bought him when he was out for 5 seconds can get a hold of it. Complete with voice chip with Robert Stack's voice.
there we go.
1 in 1,000 though. It'll just be the intro to Unsolved Mysteries instead. Speaking of which, Chad, you've seen the movie Airplane, right?
Yes.
Did you know that Robert Stack did all of his stunts in that movie?
What stunts?
When he's walking into the airport and gets in like the fist fight with all the people that are trying to give him all the free crap.
Is he literally just trying to walk in there and starts a fist fight with someone?
Well, like the first guy, he just kind of moves him out of the way. Then the second guy. Then by the third guy, he's like fighting his way through him and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he apparently did all of his own stunts for that. And he was like no spring chicken by that point.
Yeah.
Also, you know how there's like the 2 people on the announcement thing that are arguing with each other over the red zone and the white zone, as far as like the parking out front.
Yeah.
Those were the actual voices from the LA airport. They're married in real life.
That's great.
Yeah, I saw this thing as a bunch of like things you didn't know about the movie Airplane. They offered almost everyone in the cast like a percentage of the box office or just cash up front. No one took the percentage of the box office, and they would have been like filthy rich because the movie just did fantastic. Robert Stack instead took like $20,000, like a bonus kind of thing. He chose poorly.
He did.
I mean, like in hindsight, like I get it. At the time, you would have thought like this movie's never going to work, because I'm sure he's sitting there thinking like, why do they have me in a comedy?
Probably.
You know, because like him, Leslie Nielsen up to that point, and Lloyd Bridges, they were all known for playing like straight arrow characters. That's why they got them, was for the straight arrow delivery. And because then obviously Leslie Nielsen went on to do comedies after that. Lloyd Bridges did a few after that too. But like Robert Stack went on to Unsolved Mysteries. He just stayed in his lane in Ultra Magnus.
I mean, yeah, kids probably love Transformers, or grandkid, whatever.
Well, I mean, I read somewhere that Frank Langella tells people that I think he said is either his favorite role or the most fun he had in a role was as Skeletor. So, like, that's a guy that's been in like real movies, that meant things. And he's also in Masters of the Universe that meant nothing.
And was it Raul Julia with M. Bison?
Yeah.
It was literally go do one last roll. Let us kids pick.
Yeah, because he was dying. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he turned out to be like the best thing out of that movie.
By far. Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, I saw somewhere someone just made some Masters of the Universe figures or something. Because I saw there was a Gwildor figure in there. And I think it was in a 2-pack with Orko, which I didn't understand, because I was like, wait a minute. The whole reason Gwildor's in here is because they didn't want to use Orko, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because like Orko would be even harder to make.
And so they just kind of like went with Wildor instead. And I think he even has the cosmic key, like as an accessory.
I hope.
Yep.
That, yep. And there's the cosmic key. And a sword and a staff. Yep. Makes perfect sense.
I never did look at the rest of it. I don't know if do we get a figure for Courtney Cox, for the guy that played Tom Paris?
What do you mean the guy Tom Paris played? Tom Paris is his actual persona. He time traveled. Gotta get this straight.
No, this isn't like Reggie from the Phantasm movies, whose real name is Reggie.
Wait, really?
Yes, Reggie. He's played by a guy. The guy who plays him is Reggie Bannister. And his name in the movie is Reggie, possibly even Reggie Bannister. There you go. Frank Langella, the action figure.
Yes. With just slightly oversized face because of the mask.
Yeah, yeah. I still contend that had that movie not gone to Earth,
It would have been a perfect He-Man Masters of the Universe.
I don't know about perfect, but I think we'd view it in a far better light. I'm just saying, I think Chad, it was made by the Canon Film Group.
I don't care.
Well, you should.
Some of their stuff is actually good.
Such as? Uh-huh.
American Ninja. I think they did it right.
They probably, yes, I'm pretty sure they did.
That went on to make like 5 movies or something.
Yes, but only like 2 of them have Michael Dudikoff.
Which is why no one remembers the other 3.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I'm pretty sure they also made Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
And?
That's where he fought Nuclear Man.
And?
That movie's not good.
I'm just trying to say, with He-Man Masters of the Universe movie, they had the perfect person to play He-Man.
Yeah, no, like, casting was spot on in a lot of things.
Frank Langella did perfect as Skeletor. Evil Lynn was great.
Yeah, like I said, I think had they not gone to Earth,
it would have been a perfect live-action He-Man Masters of the Universe movie.
Well, I wouldn't rush to perfect. I think it would have been pretty good. And I think it would have been considered a much better movie, because I still contend that the biggest problem with the movie is once they go to Earth, they look silly.
They do.
Because now they stand out compared to the modern world. But like internally, everything looked fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as long as they're still in Eternia, nothing looks out of place.
Mm-hmm.
It's like with Lord of the Rings. You know, you suddenly drop those characters into the real world, they're going to look silly. A little less so there because it's still like mostly normal-ish clothing. It's just medieval in appearance.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, they don't look quite as fantastical as Dolph Lundgren with basically nothing and a cape on. But
he had some leather straps.
Yeah, he had like Conan the Destroyer's wardrobe. Conan from Conan the Destroyer. Oh, he has a cosmic key too. That's right. They have his like God mode at the end.
They do have a sword with them.
Yeah.
And his vestments.
Yeah.
And his cape.
Yes, for those of you who don't know, we're looking at the Skeletor figure from the movie. So anyway, Chad, are there any other things that you think they would make?
For the pre-order?
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I would love to see will never happen because it'll probably end up being too big. The Grizzly from Spy Force with actual, internal like compartments.
The what?
Grizzly tank, Patriot Grizzly tank.
Is that from G.I. Joe?
Yeah,
Huh.
it was. I think Spy Force.
All right, well, I'll take your word for it.
But Spy Troops. Sorry.
Okay.
Uh, its thing was it actually had projectiles you could shoot,
Okay.
and you had a little joystick that when you turned it, the turret would turn,
Okay.
where you could kind of aim it.
I gotcha.
But like, remove that stuff from it. Just make it like a tank. It doesn't have to be scaled up all the way.
Well, since they've made the Vamp and the Stinger, if they still have the license or could get it renewed, they could make the Humvee
Yeah,
because there is a Joe there's a jungle and a desert one.
that would be nice to see. It'd be the perfect way to get us a classified scale triple T.
Yeah. Any Marvel figures in that range other than Sentinels?
Uh, it'd be too. The one that comes to mind, the one thing I'm thinking of coming to mind would be too big.
The Living Tribunal?
I was going to say the Blackbird.
Yeah, you're under the same problem with vehicles there too. Like I think for Legends, I think about the biggest you're going to use like the Punisher's van.
We go with the '97 theme, and they give us Wolverine's Jeep and Cyclops' car with optional convertible mode.
There you go. Yeah, you do those.
Uh, they could do the more out there figures, like the crazier, probably won't sell that well mainstream on shelves type. You know Marvel more than I do. Because, like, didn't Warthog have a? Is it Warthog?
Warthog.
The guy that can drive anything, not necessarily well though.
Yeah,
Didn't he have?
he has a figure.
Yeah. So like, he has a figure like what's off limits for store shelves?
Well, he's not on a store shelf. He's a like an Amazon 5-pack exclusive, which is kind of a problem because a lot of people want like 2 of the 5 figures. It just depends on who you talk to as to which 2. By the way, it's all over the place because it's him, uh, the cybernetic version of Silvermane. Do you have any idea who Silvermane is?
Yeah.
Okay. The Human Fly, Molten Man, and I think Ultimate Symbiote Spider-Man.
Hmm.
And so, like, for me, I look at it like I have no use for that Spider-Man. The other 4, I'll put them all to Masters of Evil or something if I find them cheap enough.
What if they used the pre-order system to let people get the old Build-A-Figure sets? Not necessarily the full set, but the big figure that you could build.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Because they've basically done that with some of them,
Yeah.
where they'll just release it later on as like a $40 or $45 figure.
Then
Because like the one before this was Dragon Man, which is an $85 figure, but that's mainly because he's got a pretty bulky body and a gigantic wingspan. So you've got those. I think this is definitely the way to do the troop builders.
oh yeah.
I mean, you might have to do it so that they don't get completely screwed on shipping, so people don't buy like one, and so they might have to do it like a box of like 4 of them or something. You know, but still, like Hydra agents, Shield agents, AIM agents, Skrulls, Kree, Prime Sentinels. Hellfire Club guards, generic street thugs for the Kingpin and all those guys. I mean, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
On those things. And it wouldn't even hurt if, like, 2 years down the road, you basically just do the same thing again.
Yep.
So I could definitely see that, as long as they don't screw it up and make, like, the Goon set, where it's, like, one Hellfire Club guard, one Skrull, one Kree, and one, like, shield agent or something, where you're like, oh.
I want shield agents, but what are these other three?
Yeah. Yeah, or like, I need like 5 of one of them and 2 of the other, and it's like, oh, why'd you do this to me, Hasbro? Because they have a real bad habit of doing that. Because, like, there's a set of female Cobra Troopers. There's 2 of them. One of them is clearly supposed to be an officer.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why is there one soldier and one officer?
Well, the officers got to have someone to give orders to.
No, it should just be 2 soldiers.
And then what? Sell the officer as a standalone figure?
Sell the officer as a standalone. Yeah.
This could be the way to do the weapon packs as well.
Yeah, weapon packs.
You could do it for Marvel and G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Now, despite what I just said, if they were to make a, like, Cobra vehicle driver set, I could live with that being, mixed. Because I don't necessarily need, like, 4 Strato Vipers. But if it's like a Strato Viper, a Motor Viper, and I don't know who the other 2 would be, but, because we're not going to get the Night Raven.
No.
So there's no point in holding out hope for that as far as the Strato Viper. The Stun we might see. It's the right scale, I think. It'd be a little bit pricier, because I think it'd ultimately be a little bit bigger than the Hiss, but not as tall. I don't think. But I think it holds more figures. Especially if it still has the foot stands on the back. Because in theory, it can hold like 3 guys just standing on each side of it. And one Snow Serpent in the back. So you have your Arctic guy for your Arctic fight. Like in the movie. Where they just gave everyone else. Well, that's another thing they could do. Is like the more specific versions of figures. So maybe make a set of like Cobra Commander, Destro, Baroness, and Dr. Mindbender for the Arctic Assault at the beginning of the movie. And then do like a box set of, like, the Vipers and whatnot in Arctic gear.
And do a box set of the Joes who are smart enough to wear Arctic gear.
Yeah. Yeah, things like that. I had something else right as soon as I started saying that. I've lost it now. But yeah, just in general, like more specific things, like we mentioned Cold Slither earlier.
They could break the mold a little bit and give scenery.
Yeah.
Still leaving it up to third-party manufacturers who are, smart enough to be like, hey, you need a wall or a fence for this or such.
Yeah.
Like, Hasbro could literally be using this like, hey, we're going to be making this. People interested. Like, Hasbro fence or like a warehouse scene set up where, like, maybe it's a foot by 6 inches where it's like a backdrop.
Yeah. For certain characters, at some point, you're gonna be able to make a box set of just like different versions of that character.
That wouldn't be too bad. Be like, hey, we have a box set of 5 different versions of Cyclops.
Oh, I was thinking G.I. Joe, but yeah, you can do it with Marvel too.
Here's your box set of 97 Cyclops, Age of Apocalypse Cyclops, Ultimate Cyclops,
Grant Morrison Cyclops,
Civil War Cyclops.
You could do X Factor. You could do late 70s, where he's got like the pirate boots.
Yep.
Yeah, you could do it. But merely the inclusion of 97 Cyclops, especially if he has the jacket, you'll sell out. That figures in like 1 3-pack of him, Jean, and Wolverine, and like their 97 outfits.
Yeah.
It's got some value. I still need to get a 97 Cyclops. Actually, I still need to get a couple figures from the 97 line.
Have they released a Civil War Cyclops yet?
No.
You know what I mean by that, right?
I'm thinking. Oh, you mean the alternate reality, the black guy from the alternate reality?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. No, he definitely doesn't have a figure.
The one where they're in like medieval Europe, alternate reality one. Do they have those out yet?
The 1602 ones?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any 1602 figures.
That sucks.
But that could be a way to do things like that. Just do box sets.
Like, here's 1602 box set.
Yeah. Could be a way to do those.
Yeah.
There are other characters that can get to be large sized. Like they can update. I have a build-a-figure of Apocalypse that's this tall.
Yeah.
But like they could make a not build-a-figure version of him. They could, because that came out a while ago.
Make a multi-pack Apocalypse set where you have a 6-inch figure since he can control his size, and he comes with a bigger version.
Yeah, you could do that. The Living Monolith, you could do the same thing. Because he has a human-sized version, but his powers, he can absorb... Okay, so Cyclops and Havoc are fueled by ambient cosmic radiation. Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a way to cut them off from their powers.
Yes.
Okay, well, the Living Monolith also absorbs that, and if for some reason Cyclops or Havoc are cut off, he starts getting the excess.
Ooh.
And once he does, he begins growing larger. And he actually got so big at one point, eventually Thor had to teleport him out into space where he just became a planet. And then Apocalypse is like, yeah, I kind of need that guy for my plans. So he sent someone to get some dirt from him so they could bring it back to Earth and reconstitute him.
What?
Yeah, because he was the planet, It's just his body floating out in space. I think he sent Bishop and Deathbird, if I remember right. Then Deathbird double-crossed Bishop. Then Apocalypse double-crossed Deathbird. Turned her into one of his horsemen, because she's technically a mutant. Those wings are real. They're not, like, part of a suit.
Yeah.
Because her people are bird people. The Shi'ar. There's a group you can make a box set for, the Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
Because they'll never make 3/4 of those guys. They'll make Gladiator a couple times, but that's it. They won't make the rest of them. You could do them. You could do period-specific groups where you can make, like, the X-Men, how they appeared during the battle on the blue area of the moon during the Dark Phoenix saga. Can
they make the X-Men from when they all had way too many pouches?
You'd be looking more at X-Force, but yes.
Yes. That I just want
we need
6-inch figures of them where the figures have way too many pouches.
We just need a Rob Liefeld box set.
Yes.
Complete with Pouch Man if they can get the license to him.
Yes. I am game for that.
Did I ever show you the picture of that, by the way?
Yes.
You know how everyone, not Pouch Man, you know how everyone always complains about that Captain America picture?
Yeah.
Got the giant barrel chest? Well, someone found a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger doing a pose where he looks like that. And everyone's like, we might owe Rob Liefeld an apology. Like, apparently a human being can actually do that and not have, like, 28 extra ribs and, like, 4 sets of biceps.
No, we do not owe him an apology.
Hey.
Look at how he draws feet. We do not owe him an apology.
You can't. He usually doesn't draw them. Oh, I rip on Liefeld, but he makes a hell of a lot more money than I do.
Yeah. He does.
Like, his books sell,
They do.
you know. But yeah, no, you can make an X Force box set. You'd have to have Cable. There's one particular picture I've seen of him where he's literally got like a bag full of guns on his back, bandoliers and pouches, and some other like giant 7-barreled monstrosity. And he's like, "All right, let's go." And everyone's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yes, we need that version of Cable.
Yes, very much so. Uh, but yeah, you could do like the one-offs. You could do the specific teams together so they could actually finish a damn team. Because Marvel Legends is really bad at that.
Can we get a team of the first X-Men?
Like the original 5?
Yes.
Would you make it 6 and also include Xavier?
See, I'm talking about the ones before, like Cyclops and such.
Who are you talking about?
Pretty sure you told me there was a team before them, was there not?
No, there's a team between them and the Dawn of Uncanny and the relaunch. Because they all go off to fight Krakoa and get captured. Cyclops stumbles back, then Moira had a team, and they send them up against Krakoa. Most of them die, except for Vulcan and Darwin. And then, like, Xavier erases the memory of them from Cyclops' mind, and then he sends the other team, like Wolverine and Storm and Colossus and the new team. What?
That team.
That's the second team.
Yes, we need the second team.
Yeah, the relaunch.
Yes. Yes, we need
From Giant Size X-Men #1.
Yes. Giant Size X.
Yeah.
#1.
Yeah, you get them. You get the original team and their X Factor uniforms if you wanted to.
So we get Sunfire, Banshee, Wolverine, Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus, and Thunderbird.
Yes.
Yes, we need all those in a set.
Yep. Just as long as they don't come with word bubbles. Folks, let's just say the X-Men were not overly PC in that particular issue.
No. So, we will not say it here. Like, you can go look it up.
Yeah, we probably better not. Yeah, you can make them. You could make the Hellfire Club, so you could actually have all of them and some guards. You could make the Acolytes, because I don't even know if any of them have figures under Marvel Legends.
No clue.
Well, they're Magneto's group from like his second attempt at an asteroid, and like I know we don't have Fabian Cortez, we don't have Exodus, we don't have Colossus dressed up as one of the Acolytes, Amelia Voigt. There's all kinds of people that you can just make a set of them. The Dark Riders.
Can we have a set called Time Travelers?
I mean, you could.
Where we get like Bishop, Cable, Kitty Pryde.
That last one's a bit of a stretch, but sure.
X-Men Days of Future
I know what you're referencing. I'm just saying, like, I think there's other better examples.
Bishop's is Bishop's sister time travel?
She did, I think. She did in the cartoon. No. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But you have like Trevor Fitzroy, Ahab, Rachel Summers, Phoenix 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could have Cable's adopted son, Genesis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you've got options. Franklin Richards.
Yeah, there you go.
He'd be a very dull figure though if it's from that storyline where he's time traveling. I mean, I guess X-Man maybe. He's more like interdimensional traveling because he
Yeah.
came from the Age of Apocalypse. Um, although he did create a whole other timeline that he's still like in, I think.
How about like civilian version box sets?
Oh, like whenever they go out in public.
Yeah. So, in their hero outfits, like give them more like
I
just
gotcha.
normal person looks, which would give more kit bash fodder to be like head swap to make it regular dude over here. And
Yeah. I mean, the X-Men are the main ones you could do, but I could also see like Tony Stark, just in the suit.
mm-hmm.
You could have kind of goes against what you're saying, but not quite. But Ben Grimm in the trench coat with the top hat.
I'd go for that.
He had a figure way back when in the Marvel Legends line from the Toy Biz era. They've never remade him though.
They could do Captain America.
Yeah, I mean he would just
You could make two different versions.
yeah, he would just look like a guy.
Yeah. But you could also make World War II Steve Rogers at that point.
Yeah, yeah. You got Matt Murdock. I know he has some figures, but I think they're mainly from the MCU versions. Yeah. So not MCU version for him. Then the actual civilians, I suppose, like Foggy Nelson, and I can never remember the name of the Fantastic Four's mailman, but he's one. Willie Lumpkin. Maybe the Yancey Street Gang. Then
I think this is turning into a here's what we want to see.
Well, I don't necessarily want to see half those, but that's just more what they could. But yeah, I think we've probably gone kind of far afield here. So
yeah.
But anyway, I think it opens the door to different possibilities, and also, unlike the HasLabs, I don't think they've said they won't remake these. So, like, let's say the Sentinel is popular, but like 5 years from now, everyone's like, "Oh, we need another Sentinel," and they're like, "Would you just buy more of the old one?" And everyone's like, "Yeah." They'd be like,
because
"There you go."
Technically, the Sentinel could be considered an army builder.
Yes, the people that run like their Twitter account actually did post a picture of like 5 of them attacking the X-Men with like, "How many are you going to buy?" So
there
yeah,
we go.
Yeah, no, they know what they're doing. But yeah, if they don't have that limitation also, then yeah, like I think something like that, or just a revolving door on the army builders. As long as they keep selling, keep making them.
This quarter we have
this quarter it's the Skrulls. Next quarter it's the Shield, and Hydra, and there's at least what is it? Skrulls, the Kree, Shield, Hydra, AIM, the Hellfire Club guards,
Geonosian soldiers.
Yeah, that one might be a hard sell, but maybe Ultron drones.
No, yeah, that one would be big.
Like that's 8 right there. If you did them per quarter, it'd take you 2 years to cycle through them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
or do 2 a year or 2 a quarter.
Yeah, I would. I'd lay off. I'd do 1, just because. Although, what is it? They're up for a month and a half. Maybe you could do 2. And you could always slot other things in and out, like, maybe it's Geonosian soldiers this year, maybe next year it's Friends of Humanity goons. Then maybe it's like Prime Sentinels, they're human sized.
Yeah.
Maybe it's maybe it's Shi'ar soldiers instead of Kree or something, But yeah, anyway, they could definitely do something like that. So I think we about covered all the ground we're really going to cover constructively here, Chad. Actually, we probably hit that point about 20 minutes ago. But
well, I'd say 15.
But maybe. So anyway, let us know down in the comments what you think about all that. If you think it's going to affect how you deal with anything, are you going to go into tremendous future debt, buying up a bunch of Sentinels and whatever else they throw at us? How many should I buy? Apparently, is what we should be asking.
Yes, that is still a question.
And then on the Lego front, if you're into those, what do you think we might see from a continuation of the current space line? What would you like to see? Things like that. Yeah, like I said, just comment. That always helps. Like, share, subscribe. Sharing and commenting are the big things that have helped us out. Check out the other videos if you haven't seen them. Don't know if this was on the video or if this was me talking to Chad at the beginning before we started filming, but do you remember, were recording when I started talking about the affiliate link stuff?
Yeah, I don't think we were.
Okay, so some of our videos have Amazon affiliate links, and I only recently realized I should be doing more than just like the link to Amazon Prime if you want Prime to watch the movies I've been talking about, if you want to actually buy the movies. So I've been going back and some of the more recent ones putting links to the Blu-rays of the movies.
Oh, some of those still have VHS available to purchase. If you want those to be put in as affiliate links, let us know. I hope the answer is yes, because I find that hilarious.
Some of those VHS tapes cost more than the Blu-rays. But anyway,
it's the fact it's there.
Yeah, the fact it's an option. But yeah, it surprised me when I was looking at them. I was like, VHS, really? Okay. So yeah, but like I said, I've been doing the Blu-ray. I mean, I go into half of them. I go into there's a VHS, there's a DVD, there's a Blu-ray, there's a 4K HD. There's like 2 different multi-formats. There's one where it's in a box set with other movies. I have to pick one because I'm not going to put 8 million links in there. So I went with Blu-ray because that's the current-ish one. I actually should go with DVD because that's actually that's actually the higher selling format still.
You should find Betamax ones for them.
I'm not gonna find Betamax for very many things there, Chad. Like, I'm not gonna find that for movies made in like the 2000s.
I'm just saying, if it's an option for ones you look up, you should include those.
Well, I might if somehow I stumble across one that has a Betamax or a laser disc.
There we go.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's about all I got. Like I said, just let us know what you think of all that. Anything you want us to talk about in future episodes, let us know. But yeah, other than that, I think we're signing off here. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you folks later.